Hello, and welcome to another update video about TRB. Well, it's actually the first one. I've never covered it. I have only covered it for gold members and in the member live streams recently. So let's take a look at it because it was requested by a lot of people, which I understand. Obviously, currently in resistance, moving up quite aggressively. So we want to talk about the scenarios. I want to present you with a bullish as well as bearish scenario. So first of all, let's start with it's not really bearish, it's short-term bearish because I think we're getting towards the end of a B wave here. That would be my primary scenario at the moment. I've got a wave one. It's not the best wave one, but it is a wave one that we can count here into the 2021 highs. So it is already a much better starting point than many coins. And then my take is that this was only the A wave, okay, of a correction in May 22. It is now doing an A, B, C structure in a B wave and should then come down in a C wave afterwards in 5 waves, targeting, what would be a potential target? Let's take a look at that. What we can do is, I can only measure it against the latest high roughly, okay? So typical target for the C wave would be the length of the A wave, then we go to the high of the B wave, roughly, okay? And it gives us the area here. I mean, at the very least, I would say the 61.8 extension. We talk about $8.87, possibly all the way down to $2.57. So this is certainly the risk, my friends. This is the risk. I'm not saying this will definitely happen. We're going to track relevant support levels along the way. At the moment, the trend is, of course, up, but this is certainly the risk. And because the move has been made, I think most of this move to the upside, the direct move has been made now. Okay, but we'll see. We'll dive into that right now. That's looking at the bigger picture, the short-term bearish wave count, in which a C wave could happen in wave 2. Looking at the context, which is very important, this is for me the most likely scenario. I cannot rule out something more bullish. So in a more bullish scenario, wave 2 finished here. Yeah, wave 2 finished here, and then this was not an AB, this was a 1-2. Right? And if this is a 1-2, then we're now moving up in a third wave, then there should be a 4 and a 5. So based on this, the wave count would be as follows. Wave 1, and I will change the color in a minute, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we change that to yellow, that would be the bullish interpretation. In this scenario, ideally, however, the third wave, well, okay, it should ideally reach $87 as a minimum, possibly even 187. Okay, I know it sounds crazy. This is the bullish wave count, and it should be a third wave that should get there. Okay, but looking at the context, looking at the Fibonacci extensions, it seems more likely to me that this is a B wave, but I cannot rule out something more bullish. Therefore, because there is a bullish potential, what we want to do is we want to understand the relevant support levels that can allow the price to push higher in the current scenario. So let's zoom in. Now I'm just basing it at the moment on my base case, which is the wide wave count, which is sort of indicating that we should at some point find a top here. At the moment, I have no clear indication that we have a top. So even in the more bearish scenario, we have a still unfolding short-term bullish scenario, and we should get one more high. Yeah, let me explain that. If we say this is a B wave, we are now in resistance. Resistance is between $32.90 and basically 83. So the next resistance level is $83.54. And in this B wave, we are dealing with an A, B, C structure. And in the C wave, we have a 5-wave move in which we have seen a 1, a 2, and probably the third wave with the high that was made on Saturday, a 4th wave, and we could now be working our way up in a 5th wave. So we have to make our assessments on the smaller time frames based on our base case. So the most bullish scenario is that we get directly one more high in this ascending wedge pattern, the so-called ending diagonal. And ideally, I don't want the price to break below the lower boundary line of this ascending wedge pattern to make one more high, possibly close actually to the $80 level, okay? This is certainly a potential that still exists, but I would say only as long as the ascending trend line is not broken to the downside, and only as long as the orange support level down there is holding, and relevant bullish support, which is the golden ratio for a wave 4 in a diagonal, is at $40.85. So this is sort of the base case, and at the moment the preferred scenario. So what is a more bearish scenario, which however is still allowing for another high to unfold? Well, let's say if we break below this trend line, then there is still a chance that this was just a high B wave, basically that wave 4 was never finished, because so far, as you can see, we only have 3 waves up. And that means the move up, here on Saturday, that could have been a third wave, but then an A wave down, an overshooting B wave, and C wave down, okay? Should that trend line break, we can develop a target for the C wave in wave 4. This would be short-term bearish, but still allowing for one more high. Overall, I think the risk has significantly increased on this chart, because yes, while another crazy move is definitely possible, certainly the analysis would reveal that this here is probably the 5th wave of the 5th wave. So most of the move is done. But yeah, there is still potential for another move up, close to maybe $80. It depends on where we now find a low, and obviously resistance, as I showed you, goes up all the way to $83. So at the moment, I think it's all about just watching in the short term if the price can find support above $40. Not saying it will come down to 40, but 40 is for me sort of the threshold. If the price breaks below that level, it will also break below the ascending trend line. Then I would observe if the wave 4 can find support a little lower. And if not, then we're likely coming down already in this C wave that I've shown you. That's just my current assessment of TRB. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.